Ladies and gentlemen, if you can kindly take your seats, we have a couple of very interesting sessions ahead and we don't want to lose time. This afternoon's sessions at the SAC kick off with a panel discussion on global leadership of IITs in research, education and innovation. What will it take? Very interesting subject. And it's apt that we're going to have a panel, all ex-IITians. I would request Professor Surendra Prasad, Director, IIT Delhi, to come on stage. I request Dr. Vijay Kumar, Senior Associate Dean, MIT, to come on stage. Dr. Vijay Kumar will also be moderating this session. I request Professor Pramod Rastogi, Professor EPFL, to come on stage. I request Dr. Rajiv Grover, Dean, University of Memphis, to come on stage. I would now ask Professor Nagarajan to come on stage, introduce the guests, and then set in motion this panel discussion. Professor Nagarajan.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I want to welcome all of you on behalf of PanIIT 2008 to this panel session on global leadership of IITs. What is it going to take? Actually, during our planning phase, we used to call this the academic session to distinguish it from the directors panel that took place on yesterday. If you recall, the directors panel had as its focus internationalization, governance and funding of IITs, which are obviously all very important. In this panel, what the eminent panelists are going to take up is a discussion on how IITs can truly establish themselves, not IITians by the way, I think there's a misprint in your program guide, how IITs can establish themselves as global leaders, not only in education, but also in research, technology, innovation, everything. I will soon introduce Dr. Vijay Kumar, who is the moderator of this panel, and basically get out of the way. But before I do that, I did want to interject something from a personal viewpoint, which I think has a bearing on this panel discussion also. I've been very fortunate in my life that I was an undergraduate here at IIT Madras, and as we all know, IITs are a top 5 engineering institution in the world. I don't think anybody would argue with that. And then I went to Yale for my PhD, and again, I don't think anybody would argue that Yale is one of the top 5 universities in the world. And then I had the fortune to work at IBM in San Jose for 15 years. And again, I mean, IBM has a reputation of being a top 5 corporate in technology, in innovation, and in research. So, and now I'm back at IIT as a faculty in chemical engineering, and my life has come full circle. But the thing is, as I reflect, again, as I was saying, I feel like I've been very blessed in the fact that I've been in such elite institutions in my life. But then I started thinking, what if there were one institution which really combined all these aspects? What if there were one institution that was a global leader in education, a global leader in research, a global leader in technology implementation, technology propagation, global leader in innovation? Is it even possible? And if it is possible, can IITs aspire to be that institution? And I believe that is the challenge in front of the panel today. How can IITs aspire to be a global leader, not just in one particular segment, but in all aspects of education, research, and technology? So I'm sure we're going to have a very interesting time listening to the panelists debate this topic. I wish to now introduce Dr. Vijay Kumar, your moderator and a personal friend of mine. Dr. Vijay Kumar has obviously had an eminent career. He's a double degree from IIT Madras, B.Tech in chemical engineering, same as me, and also an MS in industrial management. And he has a doctorate in education from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. He is currently Senior Associate Dean of Undergraduate Education and Director of the Office of Educational Innovation and Technology at MIT. His research, as well as his extensive engagement as advisor and consultant with academic and professional institutions, is directed towards strategy, planning, and implementing innovations for education. Previously, he has served at MIT as Assistant Provost and Director of Academic Computing, as well as at other institutions. He has provided leadership for units engaged in delivering infrastructure and services for effective integration of information technology and media services in education. Dr. Vijay was the principal investigator of OKI, Open Knowledge Initiative, an MIT-led collaborative project to develop an open architecture for enterprise educational applications. He is a member of the advisory committee of MIT Open Courseware, OCW, a member of the steering committee for iCampus and MIT Microsoft Alliance Initiative for Educational Technology. He is executive officer for MIT's Council on Educational Technology. He is an honorary advisor to India's National Knowledge Commission and advisor to the Open University of Catalonia. He has authored a book, Opening Up Education. I have a copy in my hands, if anybody wants to take a look at it afterwards, which focuses on the collective advancement of education through open technology, open content, and open knowledge. And by the way, he just came to us from a panel discussion as part of the education track on Technology Education 2020. And so I truly appreciate the fact that he actually had to leave the panel a little before it closed and to hurry over to this plenary session. I truly appreciate the fact that he has lent his support to this program. And I invite Dr. Vijay Kumar to step up to the mic.